Hello, my name is Sai, and today I'm going to talk about the impact of globalization on primary education reform through implementation of BEQUAL program or Basic Education Quality and Access in Laopedia. Here is the outline of my presentation. First, I will be talking about the impact of globalization on Lao education in brief, and then I'll be talking about the general education system, particularly the primary education reform, and then what is BEQUAL. Next, I'll be talking about how globalization affects Lao primary education via BEQUAL program. And then two main things of this presentation will be talking about the advantages of BEQUAL program, its advantages of the program, and finally I will conclude with my own perspective and my experience. So now let's look at the introduction. Globalizations have a great impact on education, and that's through educational reforms guided by three types of forces: competition, finance, and equity concerns. Lao is no exception for this phenomenon. After the introductions of market-based economic reforms in the 1980s, especially new economic mechanism in 1986. As a result of such reform, many international organizations and financial organizations came to Laos to help develop the country by supporting funds. For example, UNESCO, World Bank, and ADB, or Asian Development Bank. These organizations still support the government. However, now are focusing on primary education, which is receive fund from the Australian government or Department of Foreign Affairs or Trade to help reform the primary national curriculums, which a big amount of money, over 85 million Australian dollar. And so I think this program will have a great impact on the primary education reform in Laos, and um, will be affected by this support. All right, so now let's look at the general education reforms in Laos. Laos have been through many different reform in education. For example, the reforms of 13-year system to 10-year system, 10-year system to 11-year system, or we call 5 plus 3 plus 3, which means 5 year in primary education, 3 year in lower secondary school, and 3 year at upper secondary school or high school. And the latest reform is a 12-year system, because the government would like to adapt the system to be more international standard, and also to be like Asian countries education system. And as I mentioned earlier, in primary education, it usually takes 5 years to complete and is compulsory for all Lao citizens. So now let's look at what the BEQUAL program is. So BEQUAL is a 10-year program led by Lao Ministry of Education and Sport, with the financial support by Australian aid and European aid. And these two donors have a great role to play in helping Lao government to implement the EQUAL program. In addition to these two major donors, The BEQUAL program also have a subcontract with 4 international non-organizations to help them deliver a package of activity and evaluate the outcome of the program. These organizations are World Vision, Shy Fund, Plan International, and Save the Student. So here is the goals and objective of BEQUAL program. In the first one, 2018-2020, and in this program there are 3 phases, and this is the first phase, goals and objectives. The main goal of this program is to increase more girls and boys of primary school age, in particularly ethnic minority group or ethnic minority students who have less advantage in comparing to Lao students, to help them achieve functionality, literacy, and numeracy, as well as acquire life skill. 3 main goals of this program is to implement the primary national curriculums. So this program will help the Ministry of Education and Sport develop a new national curriculum. In this primary new primary national education curriculums. So which is now they are doing they're just finishing the developing the grade 1 and grade 2 textbook and teaching resource. And the second objective is to improve teacher education, to help teachers improve their teaching techniques and strategy to help allow students, especially ethnic minority group students, to improve their Lao language. The final objective is to strengthen planning, management, support, and monitor of teaching. And here is how globalization affects Lao primary education. As I mentioned earlier, and after the introduction of new economic mechanism in 1986, many international organizations and international financial institutions came to Laos to help the Lao government to develop the country, and especially World Bank, ADB, EU, and UNESCO. So in order to improve the education, especially primary education, the government of Laos reformed educational policy according to MDG, or Millennium Development Goals, especially goal number 2, primary education, and also EFA, Education for All Girls, by UNESCO. So with by following this international policy, the government have implemented many different policy. For example, Education for All National Plan of Action 2003 and 2015, and many policy have been implementing according respectively. And currently, the government of Laos is working partnership with the Australian government to run the program called BEQUAL, to focus on developing a new national primary curriculum to help Lao government achieve the sustainable development goal. For example, quality education, gender equality, and reduce inequalities. As I mentioned earlier, the fact or the governments have a major role to play in helping Laos to reform primary education because of their help and support in terms of financial and expert. Especially DFAT is the largest donor to basic education in Laos, so they tend to have an influence on how they would like the new curriculum will be like to be more international standard. So now let's look at the drawbacks of these programs. Like many international financial assistance, the implementation of BEQUAL program usually come with conditionalities. This means that the program is designed by DFAT and also evaluated by international non-organizations, so they tend to have influence on this reform because they also design and evaluate this program by themselves, even though they're working with working partnership with the Lao Ministry of Education. Second disadvantages is the deployment of experts from Australia to work with Ministry of Education and Sports. So this deploying of experts could lead to the influence of curriculum, because the experts have more influence on how they would like to they would like this curriculum to be more international standard because of their expertise, their suggestion. So the Ministry of Education and Sport tend to follow their ideas and their suggestions. So as a result of this, the new primary of curriculum will be more international standard according to sustainable development goals. However, the benefits of this program cannot be underestimated. One of the benefits of this program is to help decrease the dropout rates of primary school students, especially the ethnic minority groups, as well as reduce the absenteeism of students in 7 districts in 4 provinces, which is where the target school located. It can be seen from the report of 2018, which is the phase one report, showing that the dropout rate of student in this target area are below their provincial rate. In terms of the absenteeism, it's reported that 90% of students reported that they attend class 5 days a week, which is very significant in comparing to the past, which minority group students attend class a few days a week. So this program is very helpful to increase the student attendance to the class. Yeah, as more ethnic minority group attended more class. I mean, in regular basis, 5 days a week. The second benefit of this program is increase the participations of disadvantaged students, especially the ethnic minority group, to help improve their Lao language skill and reading with better instruction and techniques used by the teacher. This means that teachers also improve their teaching strategy and technique to help ethnic minority students improve their Lao language. From the report of 2018, reported that students understand their teacher's instruction in Lao language more, which increased from 21% in 2016, which is the baseline of the program, to 40% in 2018, significantly more students can respond to their teacher in Lao language, especially the minority group student. Thirdly, students have increased their access to a range of opportunity to read books in their community because of the support of the BEQUAL program. Students uh, can attain it reading activities, more reading activity in their communities. For example, they attended reading camps, groups, reading buddies, as well as the Shy Club, which is a reading club set by the BEQUAL program to help motivate student readings. So from the report, it said that 80% of students attend this reading activity, which is very significantly increased in comparing to the past where there was no eco program. Finally, this program helped the target school adopt good hygiene practices, and in this case, students can recall appropriate hand washing before eating, and after they go into the toilet, they know how to wash their hand properly after they uh, go to the back uh, after they went from the bathroom. So this is improve their knowledge of hygienist. Most significantly, the targets relate at where the school located as well. They have improved their water, sanitations, and hygiene facility. The program also helped install uh, the water, sanitations, and hygiene facility to help improve the quality of life of people there, as well as the student who live there, to help them better improve their knowledge of hygienes. Thank you. So I think this is the major benefits of this program. Conclusion. So as globalization and foreign organization have had a great impact on education policy around the world, Lao is no exception for this phenomenon, especially primary education, which is being reformed through the implementation of BEQUAL program funded by DFAT. Even though with this program had a few drawbacks in terms of the conditionality, control over the management of the program, which is largely by the non-international organization, as well as the Australian experts who tend to influence their ideas and the idea analysts on how to develop new curriculum to be more international standards according to sustainable development goals. However, this program brings more benefits to Lao education system, especially primary education, as this program can reduce student drop rates and their absenteeism, enhance the participations of disadvantaged students, especially minority group, to improve their language. They can speak Lao language clearly, and they also understand the teacher when they study in the class. Then the teacher as well improve their knowledge of teaching, their pedagogy, core knowledge, as well as their help them adapt or use the material to teach the student. Significantly, the student understand how to protect themselves from the bacteria, or how to know the hygiene, how to clean how to wash their hands when they before they eat food or after they come from the bathroom, so which is significantly uh, beneficial. Significantly, and in the grade 1 and grade 2 textbook, Teacher Sky as well as resources have been distributed to those target schools to help improve quality educations. And I think this program should be continued to be implemented, because I think this program will bring more beneficial to Laos and also to Laos students, and as well as the development of the country in the future. So I think this program is very beneficial and should be uh, continue for the better lives of our people. Thank you very much.